Today, I'm going to convince you that art should not be privately owned. Imagine walking through a grand museum, except most of the masterpieces are gone. The lights are still on walls, labels are still on walls, but there's no art. That's not a dystopian future, it's actually our reality. Some of the world's most greatest and important art pieces are locked away in private vaults, hidden from public view, and hoarded like treasure. Hi, my name is Alexia, and today I'm going to convince you that the federal government must mandate that historical and culturally significant art pieces, even if privately owned, be publicly exhibited at least once every 5 years. As a art enthusiastic and a architecture student, I have spent so much time studying how art affects society. And in researching for this speech, I found that hidden masterpieces not only rob the public from inspiration, but they also rob our culture and our memory. Today, we'll explore the following: the harm caused by privately owned hoarding important art, who's responsible for allowing this loss, how public access can be restored, and how this policy would work without hurting private collectors. Privately hoarding important artworks damages culture, education, and innovation. According to the BBC, having 5% of your national collection on show is something people find difficult to understand. But just think about it, for every one Mona Lisa, there are thousands of other art pieces we have never seen before. And this deprives artists, students, and even the public from inspiration, joy, and education. For many years, art has been used as a form of political reformation. An early example I can think of is Eugene Delacroix's Liberty Leading the People. And this masterpiece was made during the French Revolution, and it was shortly bought by the new King Charles X. And according to Britannica, it spent years in storage and was later returned to its artist before being exhibited again at the Luxembourg Palace. But beyond social impact, it's also economic too. According to the AAM, data shows that museums and cultural tourism generate over 50 billion worldwide before 2019. When art is hidden, everyone economically and culturally loses. Now that we understand the harm caused by hoarding art, let's talk about who's actually letting this happen. The art market and the weak federal protection laws are to blame. Private collectors and auction houses prioritize exclusivity and wealth over public good. According to the Art Basel, the movement towards private channels suggests continuing strong demand, just expressed differently through different transaction methods, as sellers opt for more discretion and control over pricing. Meanwhile, the US offers little to no regulation to protect culturally significant artworks. According to Amber Tears and Copyright Fears, most of the international community has already adopted the 2003 UNESCO Convention for the Safeguarding of Intangible Cultural Heritage, but the United States relies on intellectual property laws, particularly the Copyright Act, to preserve cultural heritage. But it doesn't have to stay this way. Let's talk about solutions. A new federal policy would require significant art pieces to be exhibited publicly at least one every 5 years. This law would apply to only historical and culturally significant art pieces that have already been identified by national panels of experts. Owners could choose to lend their art pieces to museums, to universities, or to pop-up exhibitions. They would receive their tax incentives for doing so. This policy would mirror the already successful model in the UK, where expert bars were made to protect art from disappearing forever. According to Big Bucks, from contract law, consumer legislation, and expert bars to bidding practices that frame art trade, both auctioneers and dealers, which vary from country to country. By rotating artworks into the public eye, we can ensure education, inspiration, and cultural continuity. Now, you might be wondering, how much would this actually cost? The cost? Minimal. The benefits? Maximal. The federal government could offer modest tax credits, already standard practices in the art world. Plus, hosting public exhibitions can be revenue generating through tourism sponsorships. Public access to masterpieces would restore museum visits, increase art education, and spark new generations of creativity. Imagine students, architects, designers, and dreamers gaining free access to these world changing works that otherwise would be sitting in a billionaire's vault. By slightly adjusting tax laws, encouraging responsible systems, we can ensure that American culture is preserved and celebrated, not just forgotten and hidden away. Thank you for listening to the ongoing problems behind closed gallery doors. We talked about the damage caused by privately hoarded art, the players responsible, the solutions of mandating public access, and how we can afford to make it happen. The art world is a grand spectrum of inner injustice. Art should be for everybody. Art is humanity's mirror, but what good is a mirror if we can't look into it? By bringing these hidden treasures back into the light, we're not only preserving history, but we're inspiring the future. Thank you.